like to call the April 22nd board meeting to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Nazario.
Here.
Mr. Ferguson.
Here.
Dr. Ballard.
Here.
Mrs. Washington.
Here.
Mr. Sturgill.
Here.
Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Palm. Ross?
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Julie Calazzi, who will introduce her coaches and students here to lead our Pledge of Allegiance tonight, as well as Sophia Chopper from Stephen DeHanas. If you don't mind coming up, Sophia, to help with the Pledge of Allegiance.
We do get them all.
See if I can reach this. Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome Miss Emily Shurius and Miss Kesley Honeycutt, our Girls on the Run coaches, as well as our Girls on the Run team at Palm Elementary, to come up and lead us in the pledge, as well as Sophia from Stephen DeHanas.
Come on up.
All right. Same as we always do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, you know what, Sophia, do you mind coming up and talk with us about Stephen DeHanas?
Yeah, Sophia Chopper is from Stephen DeHanas, and she is awesome and representing, and there's some confusion at the last board meeting, and I'm just glad we got the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. So, Sophia, what's going on at Stephen DeHanas?
Well, I'm gonna
Talk into the microphone, honey. There you go.
just put it down. I'm gonna be talking about the Rise and Titan luncheon that we do at Stephen DeHanas all the time.
Excellent.
At the Rise and Titan luncheon, we have 3 jobs that us ambassadors do. At the Rise and Titan luncheon, there is host, server, and manager. As a host, we seat the students with their guest. And as the manager, we make sure everything is going smoothly. And as the server, we serve them the food. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophia. Nice job.
Very good.
Mia, and then Elena, here up next, and Siriana. Be on this side next to Elena, please. And Alyssa. Thank you for your patience. I'm a loud person, but I'll still use this. Hi, I am Miss Shurius. I am one of the 2 coaches for our Girls on the Run. And I would just like to introduce our entire team, even though not all of our members are here. We have Jade Boyce, Satiri Brown, Alyssa Gonzalez, Sirana Hassan, Taya Jackson, Elena Polly, Emily Sanchez, Analia Sanchez Soto, Mia Sebastian, Tasia Sigler, Evely Simpson, Cynthia Solomon, Elena Williams, and Peyton Williams. I know it's not customary to clap at the beginning of a meeting, but our girls just completed a practice 5K today. So I am
Nice.
extremely proud of our team. We can give a round of applause. Proud as a coach does not begin to describe me. So we've prepared a little bit for you guys. First, we're going to have Mia describing what our program is all about, and then we're going to have a few of our members describe what Girls on the Run has done for them and their confidence. And then we're going to end by showing you a little bit of what we've done during our team practices. So first we have Mia. You got this. I believe in you.
Girls on the Run is a running program that inspires girls like us to build, discover, and grow our self-confidence. We've participated in practices that include lessons on learning skills like managing emotions and negative self-talk, building friendship, and expressing empathy. At the end of the session, we'll complete a community impact project and run a 5K together. This will provide us with a sense of accomplishment and build our confidence.
I like being a part of our Girls on the Run team because I feel that I can be myself. People don't judge me, and I feel like our team is a family. I love doing our team cheers at the end of practice because it is a great way for us to encourage each another.
I love Girls on the Run because we can make new friends, express our feelings, and be there for each other. Running and talking lets me let out my anger and helps me calm down.
In practices, we learn about activating our star power, which is our self-confidence. We can help each other activate their star power by encouraging and comforting others and telling them things like you can do it and keep trying and don't give up.
So this is just an example of what we've done during one of our practices. Okay. Wow. Yeah, what Alyssa did. So this is what Alyssa's talking about, where we show our inner confidence, and this is one of our lessons we did.
Nice.
Great job, ladies. Okay. Oh, and then is it okay if we do our team cheer?
Please. It's expected.
Okay, let's put our stuff down. You have paper to put back. Okay, circle up. Please join us. Okay, we do left hand and because why? Closest to our heart.
I like that.
Girls on the Run is so much fun. Girls on the Run is so much fun.
3, 2, 1,
Home!
Absolutely awesome. How many days a week do you run? How many days a week?
we have 2 days a week, our Mondays and Thursdays, and we practice, and we have our 5K coming up in May.
Where's the 5K?
It's in Akron around the stadium.
Oh, okay, awesome. Very, very cool. That's where they do the marathon out there. I tell you what, my favorite part of the meeting is cheering for great kids. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate why you do it. And I'd also be willing to bet that you guys probably knew each other before this club, but you're all really good friends now that you've been doing it all together. When you sweat together, you work hard together, and you cheer for each other, great things tend to happen. And I just want to thank you for your leadership. I appreciate you. All right, but before you leave, everybody come on up, bring your folks, and let's get a nice big picture. Come on up, Sophia. Nice job. appreciate it. We also know that this is the part of the meeting that's not as much fun as that part of the meeting. So if you want to sneak out, we totally get it. If you can hold on for just 3 more minutes, we really appreciate it.
Okay, well, thanks, Steve.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we also have some special guests out in the audience, and Reno, I'm going to screw it up, but it's Sally Green. Is it Reno? Is it Capitelli? Capitelli. I was close enough. They're here to recognize, honor, and celebrate someone else for their continued leadership in the city of Lorain.
All right. I am Sally Green, the Ohio School Board President for this year, the 2024, and I'm here just to, first of all, as a board member, say thank you, board members. As a 19-year board member, I know what it takes to do this job, and you do it so well, so I appreciate the time and dedication that you do that. And I want to bring to your attention 3 events that I'd really like to highlight for you. One is tomorrow. I don't know if any of you are signed up for the State Legislative Conference where we go and talk to our legislators. If you are not signed up, I would encourage you to write by letter. At least we really need to get transparency and accountability in the voucher system. So if you can work on that, that'd be great. Number 2 is Board Leadership Institute, which is May 3rd and 4th. That is only for board members. Nobody else is invited. There will be speakers and learning sessions and networking, which is really, really important for us as board members to help find solutions to issues. And number 3, this is an initiative that I put out. It's called Future of Public Education. And instead of being retroactive, we want to be proactive with the things coming down the pike by our legislators. So we're having 5 topics. One of them is artificial intelligence. One is legislature and the voucher system, and then there's 3 others. And we're going to be spending a day down at the OSBA office having great networking and brainstorming to help us get ready. So I really would encourage at least one person from the school district to come for that, and that's June 27th. I know it's summer months. And I also would like to highlight for those who are not aware, first of all, congratulations to the Palm Elementary students and Girls on a Run. Great job, guys. Great job. Congratulations. And then I see in your program later on, you're going to be talking, approving some people to go to Dallas for nationals in robotics. What an amazing job. You have successes in your school district, and never be afraid to shout those out, because those successes need to be told to the state, because we so many times work on providing quality education to our students that we don't highlight, unfortunately, social media, the successes that you're doing. So please do that. I'll be doing that after tonight. And thank you so much. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Reno.
Thank you, Sally. Hi, I'm Reno County Public Ohio School Board Association. Each year at our fall conference, we honor board members for having, I guess, the courage to take an aptitude test. So we encourage Con Ed for school board members. And not only do you have to take the test because you don't know what's going to be on the test, you got to score an 80 or above. Well, board member Barbie Washington, congratulations for passing the aptitude test. And not many board members take it, and your knowledge on being a school board member is appreciated. And also, for the record, Barbie Washington is also part of the Northeast Executive Committee members. She's completing her first year, so thank you very much. And then at our spring conference, we like to honor board members for long-term service. So as you know, it's pretty hard being a board member. There's time away from your families. There's the amount of meetings you have to go to. There's summer meetings, winter meetings, you name it, you have a meeting. Most board members, there's about 3,400 board members in Ohio. Usually about 50% don't run for re-election or can't get re-elected. So when you do 15 years, we think it's a big deal. And board member Sturgill, congratulations on 15 years of service. It means a lot to us to be able to come out here and give you this.
We're going to take a couple pictures for social media.
Okay, picture. Yeah. And Barbie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ready? Go ahead. We'll hold this up real quick here. There you go. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. pleasure coming out. Thank you.
No, thank you, and thanks for making the drive up to celebrate good people. And for us, we talk about board members and what it takes to be one and what it's not. A lot of people think that every other Monday they show up and there's a packet of papers and they just vote yes. I can assure you that's not it. I've been meeting with board members most of today, some in the morning, and like the last 3 hours or so, just making sure that we have a very, very, very engaged board. And although Barbie's the only one that passed the test, the only one that took it, I just want to thank folks for what they've done. It's not an easy job. It's one where the only time you get attention is when things don't go well. But again, I want to thank our board members. I think Sally mentioned, what it takes to be a board member. And, people become board members for a lot of reasons, and I just want to thank our board members for not only who they are, but who they represent and how they do things. And Bill, in particular, we've gone back now for 9 years for me. You're the only board member who's still here that voted me on and hired me in 2015, and for whatever reason, they ran everybody else off. So I may be thinking that, but Bill, you've been steady. You're the person I talk to when, again, wisdom, history, all those things that kind of compile into somebody who needs advice to be a leader and co-lead in the city of Lorain. And I just want to say thank you sincerely for everything you've done for me for the last 9 years and for what you've done for the city of Lorain for the past 15. So thank you very much.
You are the money man. Like, you probably know how much money was in the account 10 years ago, or how much we had, to the dollar amount. He remembers everything. You can call him and he knows how much. Thank you.
And I would like to thank you as well. I know just coming on as a new board member, you make yourself available and just are a wealth of information, and I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I just can't overstate enough the calm wisdom that you bring to the table,
Yes.
and you're appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's what I want folks to stick around and clap for. If you want to make a run for it, I fully understand. Carol, no, you got to stay. But everybody else, greatly appreciated. Because we're going to break for an executive session, there's going to be some downtime here in a minute. But, yeah, so thanks again, Sally and
Thank you
Reno.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
coming.
Thanks, Julie. Christina.
Yes, you guys did great.
And before we break for executive session, I do want to make one correction to the agenda. In section 11.1, there's a typo. Sam Dickerson is a sub-administrator. It's supposed to be $300 per day, not $300 per hour.
Okay, we need a motion to suspend the order so that we can go into executive session.
So moved.
Some support.
Roll call?
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
And a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call?
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
And we're going down the hallway.
Oh.
We're gonna do that one more time.
Can I have a motion to come out of executive session?
Support?
Roll call?
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Okay, we have already had our recognition of visitors, so our first hearing of the public. Don't have any public? Can we approve the minutes from the March 25th meeting, please? Can I have a motion?
So moved?
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
And the board waives the rights to read those minutes. Any old business?
I would just like to apologize for my absences. I haven't been feeling so well, and I've been trying to stay in touch with
Yeah.
everything that's
Yes.
going on, and so I just want everybody to know
Your health
that
is
I
most,
still like you guys.
I know. Your health is most
I've been
important.
taking
All
care
of us?
myself.
And
Most.
Yeah, I just checking.
Some more than others.
your health is more important, and yes, you have been keeping in touch and have been informed. Thank you. Reports and recommendation of the treasurer.
I have items 10.01 through 10.04 for approval.
So moved.
Support?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Reports and recommendation of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mrs. Zario. I'd like the board to consider for approval items 11.01 and 11.02.
So moved.
Support?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
I'd like the board to consider for approval item 11.03.
So moved?
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
I abstain. I have a relative on this one.
Thank you. I'd like the board to consider for approval 11.04 to 11.11.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
And I have to abstain on this one. I have a relative.
I'd like the board to consider for approval items 12.01 to 12.22 operation matters.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
And under other matters, I'd like the board to consider for approval item 13.01, an out-of-state trip to Dallas, Texas for JROTC and robotics to compete for Worlds.
So moved.
Support?
And a large portion of that is paid for, almost all of it is paid for by the Army.
Roll call?
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.
Yep, and I'd like to invite Ross May into the conversation to give us an update. No, you're not getting out of here. To give us an update, a brief update on where we are with our media centers.
you'll be all right
We've
here,
got a
Chad,
number
promise, yeah.
of areas of focus in our district, and one is what do we do with our media centers? We've had a lot of debate and discussion. I'd like for Ross to give us an update.
Michael, do you want to broadcast, or you want me to broadcast it?
If you want to do that, I'll play the video when you're done.
Okay, can we actually start with the video?
You want to start with the video?
Yeah, please.
This is really going high tech. Now we know why Mike left.
In Lorain City Schools, our schools stand as beacons of learning and literacy. But even the brightest beacons need a refresh to shine their fullest. This spring, Lorain City Schools reaffirms a fundamental belief. Literacy is power, and it all begins in our school media centers. Our media centers have waited quietly for too long, with collections growing outdated, some untouched by significant investment for nearly a decade. But we are turning the page to a new chapter. With an investment of $5,000 per elementary school and $8,000 per middle school, our media centers are being transformed. Imagine a place where every shelf tells a story, and every book is a new adventure. A place where the latest titles aren't just displayed, but are devoured by young readers. That's the future we are building in Lorain City Schools. We are stocking our shelves with new material and books that our Titans are excited to read. Our endeavor is not merely about updating a collection. It's about reigniting a passion for reading and cultivating a vibrant culture of literacy. Our media centers serve as the first book-rich environments our students encounter. They are more than just rooms. They are gateways to a world of endless possibilities. With every book that finds its place on the shelf and every page that is turned, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to our students. This is not just an investment in materials. It's an investment in the futures of young learners. Because in Lorain City Schools, we firmly believe that literacy is not just power, it's a promise.
So that was at Admiral King today. Let me get up here. So we've been working to update our media centers now for actually a little over a year. And let me get this up here. And so last week we closed our media centers down at all our elementary schools while all of the books that they'd worked to order came in. We reset the media centers, and then that was Admiral King's grand reopening today with all the new books that they ordered. So just a few things I think are important just to do a quick timeline and then where we are and where we're going. So we did a little over a year ago, you voted to make Kelvin Jackson the district-wide media specialist. And then with that, we hired a media clerk. We weeded all of the library collections across the school district, which took us quite a while to go through, because we, as Lisa said in the video, it had been a long time since we had done that. And then we started the end of last school year and throughout this school year doing professional learning with our media clerks on the media standards, how to, in an ongoing way, weed our collections, and then how to use the selection tools to upgrade our media centers in this big fashion we just did, and then in an ongoing way. And we partnered with Mackin to help us with this. And one of the first things that we did was we did a collection analysis of all of our media centers. And this is an example of one of the graphs that each school received. And basically, the yellow bars show the age of the book by genre and the recommended average age versus the blue bars, which was our average age, and this is one of our elementary schools. And most of our elementary schools look just like this. Our media centers at the middle schools look like this as well. I think our average collection age across the elementary schools was 1995. So it had been a long time since we had invested in our media centers. So we formed selection teams, and our criteria for selection was student interest first. So the media clerks at the elementary schools helped to do that, talking with the students when they were in. Then at the middle school, we surveyed the students. And then we also then looked at our student demographics. So each school had a report of their demographic breakdown by race, by gender, by disability status. And then we looked at our Mackin analysis, which was an example of that chart that I just gave you. And we wanted to make sure that the titles that we selected our students were interested in. And then we also wanted to make sure that our students can see themselves in the books. So we wanted to make sure that we're working very intentionally to mirror our demographic as closely as possible through author selection, titles, characters, and stories. And then the Mackin analysis was important because each school again had a graph like this, and then tremendous detail for each of the numbered categories there to look at to see maybe they're stronger in this area but weaker in this area. So working to improve the areas that needed greater improvement within their media centers. So then just by each school, you can see the number of books that each school ordered. Lisa again referenced in the video the amount of money each elementary school had, $5,000, and the middle schools had $8,000. The middle school's collections needed the most work. And depending on the book against the collection analysis and the interest, each school got several hundred books that they picked, and they are in, and today was the reopening of our school media centers. And the Admiral King video was pretty cool. Yeah, schools are pretty excited today. So all the kids will have a chance to get new books. The last day for them to check out books will be May 17th, and then get those books in May 31st, and we'll operate just like any other school system does with respect to the media centers then.
Will this be a yearly part of the plan is to update?
Yeah, now not in the large quantity that we did this year, 'cause we
Right.
had a lot
No,
of
I
time to
mean-
make up for, but yeah, yep,
But yes, the average age should not be 30 years old.
right.
Yeah.
And the students will be able to check them out
Yep.
now?
Yep,
Okay,
students will
good.
be able to check them out, yep. Yeah, and our goal is to have them be able to check out a couple of new books before the end of the school year, and then just as an ongoing practice going forward. So we still have a few things to figure out yet. And Kelvin's been leading the partnership discussion with the Lorain Library and looking at targeting field trips with a few different grade levels. So we want to target either kindergarten or first grade, make sure all kids get a library card. Just experience and have a good time with the library and have a positive experience with it. We're looking at also in middle school and then in high school in particular to help understand employment opportunities that the library can help with. We want to also make sure our students are registered to vote. So we're looking at, and we don't have those details down. We just started having a conversation with them about that. And then we're looking at furniture and space upgrades. And we don't have a specific plan yet. We're trying to figure out just how we can go about making adjustments to furniture and looking at grant opportunities to possibly do that to make a more flexible space in our media centers.
Right.
So that's where we are with media centers. Questions on that?
Again, it's an exciting time, and it's fun. We had a strategic plan that speaks to all the areas in which we need to grow. This was one, and I just want to thank Ross, always for his leadership, and Kelvin did a great job of coordinating and organizing, and then for our schools for taking on yet another challenge to make sure that we provide the right stuff for our kids.
Good stuff.
Excited to get new books into the hands of kids. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Any new business?
I'd like to take a minute just to get it on the minutes, congratulate the Lorain High School esports team
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
in their
Those are my
second
notes.
year, making it all the way to the state finals.
And it's only their second year.
And they learned a lot, talking to the advisors. They'll be a little bit more streetwise. They had some bus issues, and as a result, they got the equipment that was left over when they got there. And as I was told, we'll be traveling with our own equipment from now on.
Oh, there we go. So learn. Yeah.
But
very good.
great job to the two advisors, Seth Littman and T.O. Marty, and to all the kids involved.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
what they've done in just 2 years.
Yes.
It really is. Thank you, Jay.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I don't know what esports are.
Video games.
Is it?
It's, yeah, it's competition, and actually, we've got kids to get scholarships. There's college degrees it leads to. We have a couple of kids, and I think Akron was one of the first schools to get esports, so it's known as one of the most prominent when it comes to that. And we have kids going there, they are competing, we have kids in high school who are competing with their kids in college, and they're being recruited to attend, with scholarships being discussed.
I guess I break it down as it's games for eye-hand coordination.
Video games.
Video
Strategy.
games, and you're
It's
playing
video
against
games.
other
Yeah.
high schools.
You're meeting
and
the kids
other-
where they're
Yes,
at.
I'm probably the only person who never played. I played Pong.
There you go.
Well, it's like that, only in color, Bill.
It's a little more sophisticated.
Played
little
a
bit.
video game.
Just a little bit more.
You need to update your collection.
Yeah.
I
I
can
put
hear-
one of those
that's why
vision
Bill's
things
laughing
on
when
for like a roller
Boing.
coaster.
Boing.
I almost threw up. It made me so sick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's all right.
No, it was a good question. Good question. Thank you.
I guess I should have just asked my grandchildren for.
They
would know.
probably would have known.
They would know.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that is on a full scholarship for esports, so it's growing.
Akron has maybe the most money invested of any school in the country. And the reason that the finals were at Akron was because they wanted to show off their facility.
Awesome. I have one other thing for graduation. I hope this is appropriate. If not, mute the mic. There's been a couple questions about graduation. And I won't say who, but can I say, I'm going to say it, that the cost of the facility was donated, and we are not paying that out of our general fund or? in the
As
fund?
of right now, and actually there was a conversation where that did take place. I think the cost we were originally told was $650, and Tony Giardini said he would cover that. We since have found out it's actually $1,300, so he has not agreed to all that.
Okay.
But again, it's a facility that is perfect for us, in my opinion, in terms of proximity, size, keeping up with the outdoor tradition, because our stadium, we're not exactly sure the condition it will be in between Phase 1 and Phase 2 of construction. So more information will continue to go out, but that's correct. The cost is minimal, actually. But we also may have to rent chairs and do some other things, but yes, it's true.
Thank you.
It's the best option for where we're
Yes,
at right
yep,
now with our
yep,
own stadium.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if it rains?
We have a rain date, and if things are too bad, we'll go back to old school and have it in our gym.
Okay. I just want to know what plan B was.
Plan B is in the gym with having, live streaming it everywhere. So we'll engage as many people as we can. Yeah. Actually, in the gym, which is, I think, where we had it my first or second year here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 or 17.
Yeah,
We're
I
just
was
gonna
there.
pray for
I
beautiful
was
weather.
Right.
You were there.
Okay.
I
We're
do
gonna pray
have
for the sun.
one other question,
Uh-huh.
but this is something that's been, asked and out there, that why is it being held out of Lorain? And I just want to say, I know before we looked at other possibilities that there's not a big enough facility for us.
Yeah, the only
Correct.
venue that's close to large enough is our gym. I mean, there's just not a lot of space here, so. Yeah, we could, but again,
then
the
you got
seating
the-
and
then
stuff.
you gotta worry about the
Exactly.
mud.
And we also want to make sure that our parents and family members and visitors can see our students. So when you're on the same level, it's just a little tougher.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Committee reports? Second hearing of the public. Our next board meeting will be May 13th at 5 o'clock here in the board meeting room. And if I can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Support.
Roll call.
Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mrs. Nazario.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Ballard.
Yes.